Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. AMC stock is miraculously green yet again here on the day today. Here in this video, we're going to get into what's going on in our markets today. We did have some encouraging data that came out via the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey. And I think you guys definitely need to hear that because things are apparently, let me know if you think this is true, improving. People feeling better about their financial situations, current conditions of the economy. Now, this is only a survey that is conducted by a few thousand different people, so it's not broad or inclusive to everywhere. And yeah, just let me know what you think about that down below in the comment section. Now, we're also going to get into specifically what's going on with AMC, look at all of our sentiment gauges, and get everyone caught up to speed with everything you need to know. So hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you feel the need to, and let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm not even going to argue with it. Okay, I'm just not going to argue with it. This is the second green day in a row if we close green. That is perfectly fine by me. I don't care if it's a 2.5 cent green day like it is today. AMC stock up literally over 2 cents, 2.5 cents. That's fine. That's fine. That's better than being red at this point. Now, I do want to share this article with you guys. Pretty interesting. It says AMC stock's poor performance is not all about dilution, analyst says. AMC stock has plunged more than 30% in the initial weeks of 2024. Here's why one Wall Street analyst believes there's more to the downturn than concerns about dilution. It goes on to say one of the biggest factors receiving the blame for this downturn is the substantial dilution of AMC shares. The company has been exchanging shares for cash to sustain its ailing business. Over the last 5 years, AMC has diluted its stock by a cumulative 1,250%. Despite the sharp share price drop and the fact that the stock is trading at historic lows, Wall Street analysts maintain a more optimistic outlook for AMC in the long term. They point to improving fundamentals as a reason for their positive stance on the company's prospects. AMC shares hit by movie theater industry drawdown. Now, that's interesting because from face value, when I look at AMC, I'm not thinking about the stock being affected by the fears of an industry slowdown. But in reality, that could be part of what is going on. Now, part of it is obviously going to be dilution, but that's encouraging because if it's not all dilution, then AMC truly could be trading on a fundamental basis. So good news could be treated as good news. And I think at this point, let's be honest with ourselves. AMC stock has fell from $11 recently to $4. The risk reward looks very attractive, but not only that, you've priced in a lot of bad news. So at this point, if you get bad earnings, it's already expected. AMC is not expected to do good. AMC, to some degree, is already expected to raise capital again. So maybe that will be seen not so much as kind of a black swan-like event, but kind of seen as it was already coming. We already knew that it was coming. Now, Wedbush analyst Alicia Reese, known for a long-standing bearish view of AMC, has commented on the challenging times currently faced by the entire movie theater industry. Reese, who maintains a neutral recommendation on AMC with a target price of $11, more than 160% above the share price as of January 17th, recently highlighted several factors impacting AMC's outlook. She pointed to a shortage of theatrical content in January and February 2024, a consequence of the recent SAG-AFTRA strike. Reese noted a reduction in the number of titles set to be released in 2024 compared to 2023, leading to a decline in industry estimates. The analyst further emphasized that AMC's position has been weakened compared to its peers due to the company's large debt load, with a significant portion of its debt maturing in 2026. According to Reese, the likelihood of AMC continuing to dilute its shares in exchange for capital remains high, even with the current low share price. This strategy is a way for the company to address its highest interest debt while maintaining sufficient cash reserves to navigate challenging quarters. One of AMC's most bearish analysts says improvement is coming in the fourth quarter of 2024 and a promising 2025 is ahead. She says, however, adopting a more optimistic perspective, the Wedbush analyst also said that she anticipates an improvement for the movie theater industry starting in the fourth quarter. She also envisions a robust 2025 for the industry, thanks to the end of the Hollywood strike. According to Wall Street Consensus on AMC, analysts project that by 2025, the company could report revenues of approximately $5.14 billion. This would signify a noteworthy recovery, surpassing the levels AMC reached in 2019 before the pandemic. Evidently, the more bullish sentiment regarding AMC's fundamentals has resonated in Wall Street reviews over the past 3 months. 4 analysts have upwardly revisited their forecast or revised their forecast for AMC's earnings per share, and 7 analysts have adjusted their revenue projections upward for the upcoming fiscal year. So you are seeing, that's pretty interesting as well that they point that out. You are seeing estimates going higher for the end of 2024 and 2025, which generally causes stocks to go up. What causes stocks to move in the near term? Just in case you guys don't know this, I'll share this with you. It's algorithms, technicals, trading, what's going on in the markets. That's short term what causes stocks to go up or down. Long term is EPS, is revenue growth, is earnings growth. So that's actually very interesting. So AMC could have a strong second half of 2024 and potentially an even stronger half of 2025, full year 2025. That's pretty interesting because it says, hey, we could have some weakness over the next couple of months, but the second half of the year should be a lot better than the first half of the year. That's for sure. And at the second half of the year, historically during election years, tends to be where basically all of the gains come. Take a look at this chart. This is a chart of election year seasonality. You can see you typically have sideways, kind of muted markets for the first quarter, the first 100 or so days of an election year, as you can see in this dark line. Then you tend to have a mid-year rally, a sell-off towards the election, and then quite a parabolic move towards the end of the year. So the second half of the year, specifically the fourth quarter, tends to be very strong for markets. And if that aligns with a strong market for AMC, which is the theoretical market, that could be very good news for AMC's share price. Now, beyond that, let's get into what specifically is going on in our markets today. The big thing is going to be your economic data. So let's take a look here at the economic data and what we got today. So it was Michigan consumer sentiment. Now with this survey, you get a lot of different data points, but the main number, the headline number came in at 78.8. The estimate was 70. So that came in stronger than expected. Existing home sales came in weaker than expected. And across the board, existing home sales month over month fell 1%. The estimate was positive 0.3%. So existing home sales not looking so good there. Michigan 5-year inflation expectations came in lower than expected at 2.8%. The last number that we had was 2.9%. That was also the estimate. Now, Michigan consumer expectations came in at 75.9. The forecast was 67. Michigan current conditions came in at 83.3. The estimate was 73. So these are big jumps, what you were seeing last month. And 1-year inflation expectations also plummeted from 3.1% down to 2.9%. Across the board, this was good news for our markets. And this is why stocks largely are doing okay today. The SPY up 0.35%, Apple's up 0.5%, Microsoft up 0.25%, Tesla still the one that's not getting any love in 2024, down about 1.5% here on the day today. AMC stock is now looking at potentially going red. We'll see where this takes us by the end of the day. Hopefully we can get another green day going, and that would be great news. But I'm not going to set my sights all too high. Now let's take a look at 10-year Treasury yields on the day today. You're up almost 3 basis points to 4.17%. This is why you're seeing a lot of pain under the surface, right? You hit the low on 10-year Treasury yields at December 27th at 3.78%. You've went up almost the equivalent of 2 rate hikes from the Fed since then. Almost equivalent to 2 rate hikes. So that is driving down a lot of different stocks. The indexes are not feeling it as much because they're market weighted to Magnificent Seven. And the only thing that's really going to pull them down at this point is some kind of recessionary like event or really bad earnings. Let's be honest. But your other parts of the markets, your small mid-cap stocks, your average Joe Schmo stock is not doing well. Even as you can see here, the percentage of stocks above their 50-day moving average is getting wrecked yet again today. Even though indexes are doing well, your percentage of stocks above their 50-day moving average is now at 57%. A coin toss between whether or not a stock is above their 50-day moving average or not. You're down about 3% today, even though the SPY is up today. So under the surface, it's really a tale of two stories of what's truly going on in our markets. And unfortunately, I think that could set us up for a longer term down move and maybe a correction like event. And we'll talk about that coming in the next video. But nonetheless, let's get into a little bit of AMC. Let's go over some of this data here. You do have short interest percentage of free flow at 9.6%, $106.59 million worth of short positions currently in AMC. Days to cover 1.26. 24.06 million shares currently sold short, 20.32 million shares currently out on loan, cost to borrow 1.09%, utilization of 34.23%, and a short score of 56.62 out of 100. So nothing's too crazy over here. But you are seeing the short interest continuing to climb, and I think that is positive in and of itself. If you take a look at the option activity here, the total volume numbers, 80.24% of the volume is to the call side, 19.76% of the volume is to the put side. So put to call ratio of 0.25, meaning 5 times as many calls being bought for every one put. That is very good here on the day today. So that is pretty encouraging. We don't have any data yet from hedge funds and institutions what the positive order value looks like, but I'm sure it's going to be another good day for AMC options. We'll see. Maybe not. Who knows? Things can really change towards the end of the day. We do have the latest AI investor sentiment survey. Bearish investors giving some back. 40.4% of investors are bullish. 32.9% of investors are neutral. And 26.8% of investors are bearish. So starting to see that number climb a little bit. And your Stocko tracker data. You do have about 7,000 calls currently in the money, 256,000 calls out the money. In the money puts at 78,000, out the money puts at about 33,000. So that's kind of going to do it for this video. Just a brief overview of the technicals, guys. You're in no man's land. If you don't hold support at $4 per share, things are going to get really, really rough for AMC. So definitely want to watch that. We did hit the low at $4.01 per share. So I'm optimistic that we will hold support at $4 per share, but it's definitely not going to be a guarantee. If you look at the RSI is still oversold with an RSI of 27.02. So, yeah, we want to see where that goes. If you go positive again, that's going to be good news, but maybe you just stay negative for a while here. And your MACD is really not doing much of anything, which I find surprising nonetheless, because why is your MACD not moving and AMC stock has been getting crushed? I don't know. Let me know down below in the comment section. If we go over, TLT is pretty much flat on the day today. Oil is up almost a quarter. The dollar is up 0.1%, and gold is up 0.25%. But nothing really too notable to point out. Nothing super good or super bad that is actually going on out there today. So thank you for watching, guys. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. In the next video, we're going to be looking at what AI says about AMC stock and where AMC stock could be going next. I think you guys need to hear this. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.